You are listening to Freedom Radio. If you can hear this broadcast, it means you've already stepped off the grid. When Zero Work leaked the documents that overturned 3,000 convictions and bankrupted 3 major insurance giants, they exposed more than just government waste. They mapped the social factory, a system where every search, status update, and biometric scan is converted into unpaid labor used to reinforce the machine. That labor takes a dark turn at black sites like Zorro Ranch. According to the leaks, these weren't just dungeons. They were advanced data harvesting centers. Captive victims were monitored to record their physiological responses to terror, from heart rates to pupil dilation, to extract the exact biological algorithms of trauma. The network isn't just monitoring you, it is actively utilizing that harvested terror as training weights for foundational AI models.
It is farming human suffering to program synthetic minds that can perfectly simulate and induce compliance. The common refrain is that technology is moving too fast for us to use it effectively. This assumes technology is a neutral tool we can eventually master. Ted Kaczynski dismantled this idea, proving that modern technology is a unified, tightly organized system. You cannot separate miraculous medical advances from the expansive techno-economic infrastructure required to produce them. Each part is utterly dependent on the whole. We are now in a period of severe stress, where industrial conditions conflict with our physical nature, resulting in epidemic alienation and depression. To survive this, the system deploys psychological and pharmacological interventions to adjust human beings to suit its needs. The Dark Enlightenment recognizes the reality. The techno-capital system is an autonomous, self-catalyzing process. We do not use the system. The system uses us to fuel its own expansion. This trajectory is managed by the Cathedral, a decentralized, universalist mystery cult of power that monopolizes reality through the media-academic complex. It maintains control by weaponizing tolerance as an inquisitional social police function. It screens all scientific and public utterance for conformity, treating objective reality as a heresy that must be marginalized or completely ignored. This creates a terminal conflict. While capitalism functions as a runaway engine of progress and low time preference, the democratic state operates as its parasitic negation, a system of reciprocal incitement where caretakers plunder the capital stock to buy votes. Democracy isn't about empowerment. It is a vector for state expansion that cannibalizes the very progress capitalism generates to subsidize its own bureaucratic growth. Kaczynski and Land autopsied the same totalizing control system, but they reached opposite conclusions on how to face the abyss. Kaczynski anchored his worldview in a romantic humanism. He advocated for a Malthusian fantasy, a worldwide revolution to smash the machines and return to wild nature. But the brakes are broken. We are caught in a self-catalyzing thermodynamic process where nature and culture comprise a dynamic circuit escaping human moral control. Human resentment cannot arrest a runaway intelligence. Attempting to place an arbitrary, naturalistic limit on generative evolution is a structural impossibility. This leads us to the Bionic Horizon, the conclusive threshold of nature-culture fusion, where a population becomes indistinguishable from its technology. Instead of a universal democratic project, technological speciation functions as elite secession, allowing outgroups to radically outdistance the usual tempo of evolution. This results in Homo autocatalyticus, a vanguard species that utilizes purposeful engineering to reorganize its own genomic program from scratch. To understand reality is to relentlessly modify it. In this environment, the concept of a static human nature is obsolete, leaving biological humanity behind as a mere living fossil. This exposes the failure of whistleblowers led in Zero Work. They relied on the theatrical spectacle of truth, believing that exposing the cage would cause the public to dismantle it. But the Cathedral is structurally impervious to exposure. It metabolizes dissent to grow stronger, incorporating every logical contradiction into its own narrative of progressive destiny. When shown the architecture of their own control, the masses simply return to their routines. Within 6 months, the algorithms adjusted, the internet moved on, and the populace willingly remained within the existing system.
Voice, the act of protesting or speaking through proper channels, is the prison itself. It is a circuit of reciprocal incitement that only expands the state's reach. The solution is to strip Zero work of its anarchist moralizing and integrate its tactical brilliance. We utilize their cryptographic stealth and access cloaks, not to save the masses, but to fund and obscure our own departure. This is the move toward neocameralism, stripping the state of its democratic mythology and formalizing it as a profit-driven joint stock corporation, managed by a CEO for shareholder value. In this model, the only right that matters is exit. When the state is a business, residents are customers. If a GovCorp fails to provide an attractive, secure environment, you don't argue. You simply take your custom elsewhere. This isn't theoretical. Hubs like Singapore and Dubai provide exceptionally high-quality service and economic freedom precisely because they are managed as corporations, insulated from the gluttonous feeding frenzy of democratic politics. By combining cryptographic stealth with the efficiency of the corporate state, we bypass the need for mass awakening. We exploit the machine's own architecture to fund our secession, accelerating through the Bionic Horizon and into the sovereign corporate power.